At Giraffe, we want to see beautiful buildings made that are assets to the cities they are in, a pleasure to live and work in, and profitable to the developers who create them. Why is this so hard to do well? We think it's because of the way the development process works. The idea starts with the developer, kicks it over to finance to do some preliminary numbers, an architect or an engineer is brought in to do some spatial designs, and at this point the conversation explodes. The architect brings in a contractor to understand some of the costs. They commence a conversation with a government or statutory planner to make sure what they're thinking is approvable. This conversation can go over many iterations before finance sees some updated figures. An investor is brought in, and the lines of communication grow exponentially. How do you manage your risk? What we're seeing on the screen is slow. Time and money restrict the number of iterations tested, which limits the amount of analysis done. It's error prone. Every time data is double handled, it introduces unnecessary risk. And it's wasteful. This project can be stopped at any point, but every step costs time and money. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you how this process is done on the Giraffe platform. In this video, I want to show you how Giraffe can be used to identify profitable sites and create opportunities really quickly and collaboratively with your team. So we normally have these kind of conversations on the phone. So let's say that a broker has bought me this site in a geography that I operate in, and it's got the potential for water views. We normally do this kind of thing on the phone and start massing up live. You know, there's no back and forth. There's no, oh, I'll get back to you in a couple of days. We just get going. So we both think that there's an opportunity to do a flying V facing towards the water. That'll give this facade and that facade both water views. That's going to maximize the value for us. So if I create a 20-meter residential floor plate in that configuration, I can see that we can get 186 dwellings, but that's at 10 levels, which unfortunately we're never going to achieve. We've been in conversation with this council for a long time, and we know that 4 is about right. I can turn on the zoning data, and I can see that 4 actually is above the mandated height limit, but we do understand that approvals have been granted at that 4-story limit. So with this configuration, we're getting 74 dwellings, and we're back solving for the land price of 13 million, and the broker's saying that that's probably a bit low. The target really needs to be about 100 dwellings, and so we're going to try another option, as sort of an upside down U shape, and that gives us 98 dwellings. It looks okay. You know, it looks like we can still maintain a lot of those water views from these apartments and these apartments. There'll be some compromise here, although potentially they'll get water glimpses. So the view is less optimal, but there's far more units, and I think this can probably be made to work. The other thing that Giraffe does is it contextualizes all your projects in the browser all the time. So this is the project we were just working on, and I can zoom out and see other projects that I have on the go. And our marketing department also uses Giraffe to keep a track on our competitors. So I can see that Developer X has 110 units remaining up here, but 91% sold at the moment. So that's good. That's indicating a strong market, so it gives me a little more confidence. All right, so in a couple of minutes, we've sort of, hammered out a position with the broker on the phone, and what I'm going to do now is share this with my architect just to run it past her and see if there's opportunities that I've missed or if there's any mistakes I've made. The best kind of de-risking is getting a smart, trusted person to have a look at it. So I'm just going to do that. Our architect Lucy, and she'll have a look. So I share the project with her, and then I'm going to say, hi Lucy, please have a look. Yield needs to be 100 units. She'll then get this notification from Giraffe, and she'll jump straight into the project. So there's no dilly-dallying, there's no back and forward over email or phone call, spending time just explaining which site to look at. She'll see my vision, and next time I log in, hopefully, I'll have an updated building. In this video, I'll take the role of the architect. So I got an email notification from Giraffe, from my client, jumped into the project and saw the first sketch, which I sort of start to understand. I can see the water, I can see the approach, and 100 dwellings if I read in in the chat is what they're after. I have two immediate risks for this project. The first is that the courtyard is facing south, and I understand that will be driven by the views, so we can deal with that. The second is that this curtilage is just not comfortable at all. This building is crowded in by ours. That's not going to get approved. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull that back and align this facade with that facade, build some approvable envelope. This has taken our units down to 90, which is a bit of an issue, so I'll see if we can make the area back by stretching the building like this. So we're starting to get this sort of crafted shape, and I can see we can get some more area there, but even doing that, we're down to 95, 94 dwellings. So I see an opportunity probably to close the courtyard off with a small building to the south that's shorter than these, or maybe 1 or 2 stories, because the bottom levels here aren't going to lose their view anyway. So let's add a little residential building to the south of 2 levels, and hopefully that's going to get us to the yield we need. Alright, look, that's good. So we've got to 99 units. I'm sure we can fit in a few more at this level at this time. That's gold. There we go. Okay, so we've got ourselves a mass. Look, I've refined a bit of this corner. I've added a little thing here, but I think this is approvable now. That's my considered opinion. The risk now is the solar, and so this is where Giraffe is really awesome. What I've got here is a winter sun app, which I'm just going to run. And what that app's going to do is just do a solar analysis on this building. Whilst I'm waiting for that to execute, I'm going to take this to a stat planner, and to accelerate that conversation and get best value out of their time, I'm just going to put some landscape and some prettiness on the project. So I'm going to put a lawn there, and actually I've been interrupted by the app, which is fantastic. So we can see in this view, this facade here is getting sun. Obviously these southern facades are not at all, which is going to be potentially an issue. This facade is, I was hoping to see some sun on it, but it's actually facing south enough that it's not going to get any. But these north facades are getting really good sun, and I know given this site will be doing gun barrel apartments, so I think we can make it work. So I'm not actually concerned with that risk because of the solar access to that north. So let me finish this park, and then I'm going to share this with the stat planner, the statutory planner, make sure that what I'm seeing is in line with what they see as approvable. 3 eyes on the project, our client can be very, very confident that there's no unforeseen risks or unimagined risks. And this is not a computer doing this. This is experienced, trusted consultants, and we actually know the government and the approving authorities we deal with all the time. And we've got projects in this area. So what you're looking at here is considered, and we're only in about minute 8. We're less than 10 minutes in to this project, and we've already had 3 pairs of eyes on it, and we are confident that the mass that we see here can be made to work. Final step is for the financial team to have a more detailed look at it. There's 2 things that they can do. The first is change parameters here in Giraffe, so they can change the mix of 1, 2 and 3 beds, as well as the sizes. And as they do that, the number of dwellings changes in real time, so that they can understand what's going on. So, potentially we can actually get more dwellings if we drop the 2-bed down to an 80 square metre, and the 3 beds as a proportion down to only 11%. We're up to 115 dwellings. Once they've done that, which is good, if it was bad, if we'd fallen below the 100 unit count, we would have to do another iteration, bring the architect back on board. But since this is the right direction, we can download a CSV of all the data, all the parameters, mix, size, price, efficiencies, and that can be ingested into the Excel document that the team works in natively. So Giraffe always talks to the existing workflows within the firm and never traps you, always accelerates you. And that's how the deal will gain speed and legitimacy and be communicated most effectively to bankers, finance, marketing department, sales, the government, the architect, and everyone who will be affected by it. So this is our vision of city making and building making in the best possible way.